Hey guys, it's Phoenix here, and today I'm going to be making a Terraria comparison video. I'm going to be comparing the enemies, bosses, chasms, and items you can acquire in the Corruption and Crimson biomes. First of all, I will be talking about the Crimson biome, and in the pre-hard mode Crimson biome, the enemies are blood crawlers, face monsters, and chimeras. Then, in hard mode, obviously there are going to be even more enemies, like herplings, crime slimes, blood jellies, blood feeders, floaty grosses, and ichor stickers. Man, that's a lot of enemies. Anyways, in my opinion, I would say that they were a harder type of enemy than the enemies in the Corruption. Just my opinion, but yeah. Anyways, the chasms in the Crimson start out with a big, circle kind of thing with a little open gap. But then it leads you to a little narrow zigzag tunnel that you follow. And at the end of that tunnel, you find a big open area, and with some more smaller tunnels scattered at the bottom. Now, some great items, like vampire knives and crimson rod, are found in the Crimson biome. And there are more items than that you can get, but, who really cares? Finally, the boss you fight in the Crimson biome is, drumroll please, the Brain of Cthulhu! The Brain of Cthulhu is, like in its name, a big brain, but this brain floats around, teleports, and sends minions out to attack you. Yeah. It gets pretty annoying, but I think he's a cool boss. Okay, so next up we have the Corruption biome. The pre-hard mode enemies are the Eater of Souls and Devourers. In hard mode, there are Corruptors, Corrupt Slimes, Slimelings, Slimer, Clinger, and World Feeders. Now, the chasms in the Corruption are just a long straight tunnel that goes straight down, and it leads right into another tunnel, but this tunnel is horizontal, that's a little bit wider. Now, some items you can get are the Vile Thorn and Scourge of the Corruptor. Finally, the boss you fight is the Eater of Worlds. He's basically like a long snake made up of many segments, and when you attack a segment that's in the middle, he'll split into basically two versions of him. So, I guess kind of like a worm, too. Anyways, that's the Corruption biome. Both the Crimson and Corruption biomes are very good, but everyone has a favorite. Now, the enemies in the Corruption biome are easier, which could be good in early on in the game. But the enemies in the Crimson biome, on the other hand, are harder and make starting out more difficult. There are 37 items in each biome, but the main items to focus on are the Vampire Knives and Scourge of the Corruptor. And if you were to ask anyone which were better, most people, including me, would say Vampire Knives. Chasms in Corruption are easier to die in, but in my opinion are more interesting. Don't ask me why, they just are. Finally, the bosses. The Eater of Worlds is easier and drops an amazing item, or expert mode item. When the Brain of Cthulhu is harder and drops a useless expert mode item. This was a very hard decision considering the Vampire Knives from the Crimson biome and the Worm Scarf, the expert mode item, from the Corruption biome. But in the end, one must be chosen. The Crimson or the Corruption. And the biome I chose was the Corruption biome! And I chose the Corruption biome because when I used to play only on mobile edition. And at the time, they hadn't even had added the Crimson biome. So I guess I grew to prefer the Corruption. But not only that, but the Worm Scarf can be acquired early on in the game and can bring you all the way to Moonlord because of its 17% damage reduction ability, which is really good. I also really like the Vampire Knives, but you get them a lot later in the game, and that just kind of ruins it. And just the Worm Scarf with that ability, it's just really game changing. Anyways, that's going to have to do it for this video. If you guys like the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. These videos are hard to make, or at least this one I made, and they do take time, so please leave some support. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.